Today on Joker Watch, I built a top for my wife's garden wash station. Now this is only a build for the top. I built the base before I started this YouTube channel, so unfortunately I didn't get that recorded. But if the top interests you, stick around, and welcome to the watch. I'm going to start this project off at the miter saw. I got some leftover 2x4, 2x6, and 2x8s that I'm going to get cut down to size. Once I get them cut down to size, I take them over to my brand new joiner and I square up one side before taking it to the table saw and cutting it to final width. And I know this is just some soft pine, but I will say for the first time using it, it cut great and the dust collection worked really well. But I am excited about putting it through its paces with some harder wood down the road. Like I said, I'm taking it over to the table saw and cutting it down to its final width. Once the boards are all cut down to their proper width, I line them up, make sure I like the way the orientation is, and get ready for glue and screws. But one final check to make sure that the dimensions are correct. My math isn't always the best. Before I start gluing and screwing, I go ahead and lay everything out in the orientation that's going to be. And then I get out my Kreg pocket hole jig, lay out all my screws, and get ready for assembly. Once I like where everything is, I start drilling pocket holes in the wood. And I've heard a lot of good things about these Kreg systems and how well the dust collection works, but I can tell you 100% it doesn't work if you don't turn the vacuum on. And with the dust collection issue figured out, I go ahead and drill about 100 more pocket holes. Then I go ahead and add some glue and screw the opening for the sink together. And anytime I'm using pocket holes, I like to clamp it together just because pocket holes have a tendency to move and clamps keep that from happening. And with a little gentle persuasion, the boards seat nicely. And with it glued and clamped, the next step in the process is, you guessed it, pocket screws. And before it dries, I go ahead and wipe away all the glue squeeze out. That way I don't have to worry about it later. If you guessed the next step in the process would be more pocket holes, you'd be correct. Now, I would love to get to the point where I'm using more traditional joinery and making beautiful pieces of furniture, but for this specific piece, it's going to be outside, it's going to get beat up by the elements, and my wife and my daughter. So, pocket holes are the perfect application for this specific piece. And once again, I'm going to glue, clamp, and screw it together. Now that piece is all glued and screwed, I take it to the table saw and cut it down to final dimension. I continue the process with more glue and screws. This is really starting to become repetitive, and I feel like Bill Murray from Groundhog Day. And in order to keep everything nice and square and flush, I throw in one of these stops in my dog holes and screw everything together. And here I do the fastest round of sanding I think I've ever done.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
Okay, that's not entirely true. This scene's fast forward, and it took me a while. I add an 1/8 inch roundover bit to my trim router and soften all the edges. Then it's right back to more sanding. Once I'm done sanding, I grab my air compressor and spray off all the dust and prep it for stain. The stain I'm using here is Minwax's Early American. I had a bunch left over because this is the stain we used on the exterior trim of our house. And as a bonus, this top is going outside, so it all matches. Here I'm installing some L brackets. This is what I'm going to use to attach the top to the cabinet. And it's a quick and easy way to install the top to the base. And that's it. And we have a finished product that I think my wife will enjoy.